मकसद को सबा गश्ता बेचारा जामी गुलाम गुलामान आले मोहम्मद
The chant by Namche Norbu bring us into awareness. So let's extend to each other, inside to inside. And let's extend to the ancestors, the mothers and the fathers, and the mothers and the fathers. And let's extend to all the great teachers and gurus and yogis who were all met. And this morning we'll extend a taisei to maybe really coming here. Supposed to be coming here. Said he's coming here. Just not supposed to tell anybody, okay? On the internet. Great. Teacher of the Karmapa. Also a master of past lives, his capacity to perceive that. Then let's extend to the different traditions that we participate in, and they mix in our bodies, become universal people. Then let's extend to that dimension, a bit mysterious, not easily understood, the archetypal. The archetypes, the primordial energies, the elements manifesting everything and anything, the deities, the devas, dakinis. Just went through the invocation, the Vajra, indestructible awareness, unborn, undying, manifesting as us, manifesting as our own innermost innate awareness. And in this light we'll invoke the Dakini, Yeshitoko this morning. And I'll just do one other little thing here. Just a little bit from Dudjom Linpa's Song of the Tantric Gathering. And oh, fantastical. How wonderful. The perfect time is the evenness of the very primordial purity of this moment. And the perfect place, the highest pure land, the Dharmadhatu, is the stainless space of phenomena, this phenomena. And the perfect teacher, the Dharmakaya, Buddha, primordial awareness as the guru of self-revelation, self-manifestation. And the perfect retinue, all the infinite forms of this primordial awareness, us. And the perfect teachings, secret mantras vehicle, sound, sublime, vibration. And so come to this tantric feast celebration, the manifestation of all-encompassing equal purity. Next, the perfect time is the primordial purity's vast expanse. And the perfect place, your own embodiment. And the perfect teacher, the Lord Vajradhara, the very nature of human awareness. And the perfect retinue, the assembly of Namanakaya's magical manifestations. And the perfect sublime teachings, the direct path of primordially pure awareness. I will stop there. Welcome everybody, and it's true. Tai Situ will probably be coming here May 3rd, and I think it's a Tuesday night. Then he may also come to the center, we don't know yet. So glad everybody here. I forgot to bring a little piece of paper that had a little invocation by Longchenpa, but one of the key phrases he says is this: blend your mind into awareness. Blend your mind into non-duality. Huh? So we're really focusing a lot on blending our mind into awareness, blending our body into awareness, and blending the situation into awareness. Let's just do that for a moment before we start. Let's just blend our mind, even if nothing is there. Or as Nam K. Noble, whose voice we heard, just integrate your mind into awareness. We can have all kind of minds, right? Some people can have really good minds in great circumstances. Some people can have not so great minds in great circumstances. Some people can have a really great mind in terrible circumstances. Some people can have really not so great minds in terrible circumstances. All these possibilities. And yet, what was not said is the awareness of that mind and circumstances. And whoever we are, wherever we're at, if we can integrate our mind and circumstances into awareness, that is the essential process of self-liberation. Just that. And with that, suffering takes place, is experienced within and through this vast spaciousness, the energy, energia, shakti, chi, the light, the brightness, and the great compassion, which is the capacity to extend this to everyone and anything. Also a little infomercial, integrating our bodies into awareness, establishing our bodies into the awareness field is really, really useful and helpful. One thing I'm very happy about is every Wednesday morning we have Mr. Ma, a truly great Qigong master here, very pure person, who does exactly that. Qigong is simply the field. And so for an hour, there's an hour of preparation of entering the field in an explicitly embodied fashion. When you come to something like that, then you come to this seminar, there's another 2 hours. You're already deeply embodied in the field. Then what is ever said, whatever's heard, whatever's felt, irrelevant or not, it's in the field. And that is the practice of self-liberation. Then after this, we have a 12 o'clock with Dr. Yen Shin. Transmits the energy here, and another hour if you wish, if you got the time, to sit. The Yen Shin Qigong is simply about embodying the field in your life. Different traditions, different language, same exact deal. So then Saturdays, we're really having the lectures by Lama Tarchin and on the Vajrakalaya, which is actually working with the radiance of awareness, the brightness of awareness, the fire of awareness to dissolve obscurations, demonic energies, enemies, however you want to language it, with their own self and within situations. Yes, there are situations. So, I'm going to again start off where we started last week again, because I really like it so much. Let's all extend into me, and I will give a better talk. And we're going to focus on Dudjom Linpa's elaborated instructions. And in this stuff, you can think about the word spirituality, you can think about the word religion. It's really focusing on the existential drama of being a human being in this world that they describe both as a charnel ground and a palace. Those are exquisitely apt descriptions. Sometimes in one, sometimes in both, sometimes simultaneously. Huh? And by liberating ourselves in this charnel ground palace thing, so he says this: do not lose your sense of luminous awareness, open awareness. Again, we bring ourselves back into that place. Then he starts implying integration. Thoughts, we can also say feelings, sensations, memories, fantasy, are movements within awareness. And that which understands is called awareness. Awareness is understanding. And then he pauses it and says, non-conceptual knowingness. So awareness is knowing non-conceptually. Awareness is knowing directly. Awareness is knowing without a concept. Though it can be articulated later in concepts, which is a great form that we practice here a lot. There's this non-conceptual experience. What is it? We focus, we remain in it, and then it begins to reveal itself. Vibration, pulsation, words arise. And remaining in this awareness, is called stillness. It's all very close, huh? It's not some super duper something other than what's being described by Dudjom Linpa. Never be separated from these three. Movement within the vast stillness. Oh, there's this feeling. Oh, there's this sensation. Right there. Blending it. And stillness within this movement. Even right now. Simultaneously experiencing them. And direct knowingness. Non-conceptual knowingness. Then he continues on. your awareness, your own awareness, excuse me, no, not the awareness, your awareness. Should I say it again? No, not the awareness, your own awareness is the ground of the whole of samsara and nirvana. So he's cutting through from this personal awareness, your awareness, which is awareness itself manifesting in you as time and space. And as you and I become aware of this awareness, and it deepens in depth and breadth, then we're actually in ground awareness, source. Oh, he says it here. Your own awareness is the field of potentiality. And this field of potentiality is read from Dudjom. Longchenpa is also manifesting in Nirmanakaya, manifesting in Sambhogakaya, and manifesting in and of itself in Dharmakaya. Back again. Technical problems. So, your awareness as source is emptiness or openness. And the locatedness of awareness is timelessness. And perhaps we can touch that right now. Timelessness. In time. And your awareness is no destination. Awareness is. Completely is. Complete. And your essence and my essence as awareness has no form. That's when we gaze into everything and anything, we gaze into each other, into that knowingness, in quotes, that subjectivity. There's only openness, no form. The nature of emptiness is luminous. Yes, this openness is radiance. They're in total oneness, light, space. And, this is really great, it's self-revealing. It is self-illuminating, and it is self-knowing. That's its givenness. Your awareness is neither one nor many. He's saying here, awareness, your own awareness is awareness itself. And it absorbs and emanates everything and anything. So everything and anything is absorbed into awareness and is emanated from awareness. That is a great statement of confirmation. Everything is absorbed, can be absorbed into awareness. Which means every thought, every affect, every mood, every sensation, every pain, every happiness, every agony, metabolized. And emanated from awareness. It both absorbs and it emanates. It gives. It extends. It expands. Emanation. Huh? Just like you and I are emanations of primordial awareness in the macrocosmic way, in the microcosmic way, the same drama is ours, actually in our own hands and bodies. Then he says, and he's saying this in the context that in this particular tradition, of the Enigma traditions, and also as we know in other traditions, there's a differentiation of our mind from awareness. Huh? And it's a pragmatic differentiation. It's a method differentiation to actually help us enter directly into awareness, that felt sense, then integrate our minds. But in actuality, do not regard mind and awareness as two different things. In fact, they're not things at all. The mind reflects something, and the mind is a manifestation of primordial awareness. Wow. So whatever I think, whether it's really cool and good or really terrible, is a manifestation of primordial awareness. Makes me wonder where agency's at that moment, huh? So even this very moment, there's a manifestation. Let's talk, everyone, it's actually on self-manifestation today. There's a manifestation of circumstance right here, and there's a manifestation of the experiencer simultaneously in this moment. Manifestation is taking place. It just didn't take place whenever you and I were born, and then we were left to reign, right? Like, oh, it came into the world then, but manifestations happening here and now. And simultaneously, in these circumstances, there's a manifestation within me, reflecting more or less what's happening in my perception. Right? Simultaneous. Where's freedom at? My mind is a manifestation of awareness. Observing one thought, rabbit. Observing one thought, rabbit, sheep. After another is not the path. Being the witness, being the observer, is not the path. It's challenging, in a very challenging way, to get beyond being the objective observer of experience. No! You have to enter the mess. No! It's actually frightening to give up being the observer. Or as Lacan would say, it's not easy to get beyond the paranoid, schizoid posture. Do you know that one? But you have to release and dissolve that view. So sustaining your own consciousness of luminosity and pristine awareness, sustaining, that's the the gu, sustaining your experience of and within pristine awareness is the path throughout the day. It is your destiny. That is beautiful. What's destiny? It is sustaining this awareness throughout all circumstances. Just not only being in a nice basement, but really nice people who smell good. Your own awareness, ground awareness, your own awareness is the ground of being itself. Wow. Your own awareness is being itself. And this is the secret path of the Dakinis. So your own awareness, my own awareness, is the ground. So my own awareness is manifesting, which is the awareness, is manifesting my own awareness right now. And it is the manifestation of the ground. There's not a slightest bit of difference whatsoever between my awareness, your awareness, and primordial awareness as ground itself. Some may think otherwise. No difference. None. That's why liberation is given. That'll be the theme of Dudjom Linpa. It is a given phenomena. And then he goes on later, we'll hear, you can't quite earn it. It is given. It is the basic givenness of humanness. Your own awareness is being itself. The secret path of the Dakinis. The secret path of gnosis, direct perception. So then he says, meditate on awareness within awareness. Body's still up? Meditate. What do I write now? Meditate on awareness within awareness. So there's no distance, huh? This withinness, no distance. And relaxing in the all-pervading pure ground of that awareness. This pure field, unbound field. So whatever arises is experienced. Whatever is experienced is released in the great expanse of this field. And this is called path awareness. So here we're in the awareness field and experiences are arising. And as they arise, if there's some dissociation between that awareness and the experience of the thought, the feeling, the sensation, you bring it in. You pull it in. And if there's no distance, then the very arising liberates that phenomena and awareness is felt stronger. You can practice it. Whatever you bring in, the awareness field configurates with greater intensity and greater fullness. Also, as we'll hear later on this morning, because there's this manifestation, as you integrate whatever's being manifested, first thoughts, then circumstances, you start to integrate the room, here and now. So integrating Tom, integrating people, integrating the phenomena of the event into that awareness. Then, we'll hear described a little bit later, you can start experiencing the manifesting, right? You start, say yes if you understand that. You start experiencing the manifesting of phenomena. You start experiencing the shining forth, the flash of stuff manifesting itself. Say yes if that makes sense. So you gaze into phenomena in the field, which is not simply inside you, but is pervasive, and you start experiencing the manifestation of the phenomena. Thought, otherness, and then manifestingness. Raise your hand if that's making some sense to you. And that is the process, self-liberation. Almost done. And through the absence of mental activity, ultimate reality is recognized. By absence, meaning dissociated mental activity, ultimate reality is recognized and experienced. Through awareness, and awareness alone, there is this dissolution of hope and fear. There is dissolution of affirmation and negation. Everything arises from within this space of awareness and dissolves into this space of awareness. And this is the natural primordial awareness, the nature of divinity. So everything is arising, even at this moment, and dissolving in time, including ourselves. We arise, manifest, dissolve. And this drama of appearance and disappearance, as the Dzogchen masters describe it, is terror. It's around the terror of loss, right? Of loss, losing everything and anything, whether you're 2 months old, 75 years old, 190 years old, that loss, that disappearing, is often terror. You follow what I'm saying? So we're working with terror and light. So I all those great texts bring in terror in many forms. Loss, disappearance, body, mind, place, everything and anything. This sort of way laughs at pseudo-spirituality. You with me? Where suffering is not engaged with. Where suffering is not engaged with. So experience the effortless nature of being that is free of the extremes of coming and going. What he's now saying, as you and I are located in this awareness, we experience the coming and going, but there's a stability of presence, deathless awareness that neither comes nor goes. Even when you're kicking off, you simply pass through. The primordial consciousness of awareness is like the sun shining in a pristine sky, unmodified and natural. Your awareness of your own awareness awakens you into this essential nature of the ground of self-luminous beingness. What he's saying here, for instance, if you look around our room right now, we have all these little individuals here. You with me? And actually little individual events taking place. So we can experience these events in a thingy way, like things, little objects. You with me? Eventually it becomes irritating. All these claustrophobic. But actually, as you experience this in awareness, the thing-like quality begins to disappear around people. They're there, but the resonance is very direct, and you begin to experience the beingness of beings. You don't experience a being, you experience the beingness of the beings, right? We all know this. I'm putting it away. We experience that beingness of beings. And then you're in the sea of being, huh? And that is foundationally a different experience. Does this make sense? So, of course, great. Who said of course? Who said of course? Great. Oh, Would you mind commenting on what you wrote me on? That was so great. I'm going to pass you the mic. Would that be okay? It's really useful.
To speak of.
You sent me this note. It was so cool. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was in May, and Diana was my partner.
Okay,
And yeah. Last Wednesday, in connecting with my partner Diana, I almost immediately experienced myself extending into my essence, the energy field. The experience of the field was not something intrusive or unrecognized. Rather, it was a shift to something that is always there when I attend to it. I marveled for a moment that this is a process that is always there when I attend to it. As my awareness and experience of the energetic process expanded, I felt suffused with light. I felt completely one with the light, the energy, and the expansion which occurs independent of time. Everything was non-duality, and I had no conscious awareness of my own separate being. But when I heard the instruction to gaze, and I gazed into and through Diana, I experienced an electrical shock of discernment. I perceived the energy field channeled through me, extending to and through Diana, and the energy of the field channeled through Diana extending to and through me. In order to perceive the energy of the field, which is unity in its essence, there must be perceivers, Diana and I, who can be aware of their experience of the energy, and intentionally or unintentionally channel the energy, and recognize it in others, and indeed in every separate manifestation. In order for the energy field to be recognized as a unity, a non-duality, there must be the duality of separate recognizers. Awareness is a unity that can only be recognized by separate perceivers of awareness. All of the duality is a manifestation of non-duality, but non-duality cannot be brought into awareness without the awareness of dual manifestations.
Thank you so much. So clearly described. Yes. So focus for another moment. So the whole of phenomena is composed of natural creative manifestations of this ground with their own nature, primordially and completely manifesting. In time they manifest, and in time they disappear, and in time again they reappear and disappear. Appearances which are released into this essential nature itself, release of their own accord, and dissolve into the primordial womb, the Truma Nagmo. Know that this metaphor is like waves which subside in the ocean. Space is the expanse of awareness, and all appearance is the expanse of space. Let's just sit for a few minutes. And if you don't mind, just for a moment, but I'd like you to actually stay in awareness. I'd like you to speak from awareness. I'd like you to just turn to your companion without it being a big deal, just for a few moments. And I would like you to articulate to that person what was most meaningful to you in those past 20 minutes. What do you know out of your own certitude? That's it. What do you actually know out of your own experiential certitude? Because belief in this stuff doesn't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. Like academia. So would you just turn and describe what you know out of your own certitude? And if you don't know anything, that's great too. Then you can integrate that into awareness. This is called taking a break. But everything goes fast here, you know. Awareness is fast. So you're speaking from awareness, you're hearing in awareness, you're integrating your mind into awareness and your body right at this moment. And as you're speaking, extend to your companion. Emanate the energy of your voice, the energy of your understanding. Emanate and absorb it. How you guys doing there? Having a good time? It's nice singing to people's houses. Palm trees. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Ah, cool. You've got another cat. That's great. You have a new cat. Great. So, okay, we can start ending soon. We'll be doing fast. Okay. Would one person articulate what they said? Would one person articulate what they just said? Especially if you feel it's worthwhile. Okay? Would one person articulate what they said? Anybody? Okay. We're going to pay attention now. We're moving fast.
No time now.
Moving fast in timelessness. Oh, yeah. I just read something that March is a time of firing up and moving on and moving fast. So we're moving fast.
Mars is really right in a very powerful place right now. Mars is very powerful. You see all the battle going on and things. It's really hot. Right.
Well, what kept on coming to me, the words that kept on coming to me, is that doubt is the waiting room between the taste of awareness and liberation. And that waiting room is really not the perfect word for it, because it's really the space where all can be dissolved, and that if held in awareness. If we concretize around it, then we get stuck. But if we hold it in awareness and hold all the flow of all that that means and all the play of our mind, then we move into the space of liberation.
Beautifully described. Yes, please. You want to share?
Okay. So we had somewhat of a similar experience. Mine was with fear.
Here.
So I was between Mimi and Elizabeth. So that's sort of lifted by the two of them. Well, it's fun. I felt like I didn't have to do anything.
Effortlessness. So one of the tricks is being too effortful, right? Well, those of us who have compulsive personalities, and I think most everybody here fits that category. There you go. So, between this awareness and mind is also often an associative state, right? So now we're going to move, so now you see everybody, into more essential instructions now from Longchenpa. Okay, just from this text. And where we're going, the first thing we've worked on is between being in awareness. Oh, I'm a meditator. Yeah, I really like it. And then I leave it and all shit happens. I'm gonna run away and just go meditate in a cave, except for the fucking rats. It's always shit, right? So, I'm integrating. Without integrating, and you can see this, people meditate a long time. They're really great meditators. They have a little meditative glow. And then they cross into life. And there's a dissociation between the two that's very firm, unless it is dissolved step by step, moment by moment, person by person, into the awareness field. So that's where we're going now. This is from Longchenpa now. Ready? Let's extend again. It's not always easy, this. Because we like connecting to the teachers, right? We like connecting to those beings who are in the field. So we'll do that. The central revelation, or he's saying my central revelation, is pure Gnostic awareness. Same teachings got the Christians in trouble too, with the papists. It's true. The central revelation is pure, but I should wake up, pure Gnostic awareness, which supersedes, means goes beyond, prior to causal conditioning and deliberate effort. What? It supersedes, Gnostic awareness supersedes effort and conditioning? Yes. Whatever appears in gnosis, whatever, whoever, however appears in gnosis does not stir from the original face of gnosis. So I see Tom over there, and I'm in awareness, I'm in gnosis, more or less. And so, whatever, Tom, does not stir from the original face of gnosis. And at that moment, though there's otherness, duality, there's non-duality simultaneously, which is gnosis. Direct perception, awareness. My mind is in that awareness. Therefore I can see Tom in that awareness. I'm out of that awareness, there's Tom, but indivisibility, non-duality, being itself is not manifesting in the felt sense at this moment. Say yes if you understand that. It does not stir from the original face of gnosis. Causality. This is going to get us really nervous now, especially those of you that are good people, okay? And you've really worked very hard your whole life to be a better person. With some avail. So then he says this, because this goes into the causal view of the world. You with me? So up to this point, it's all causal. From very, in a lot of ways we'll elaborate, but this is no longer in causality or even moral conditioning. It seems unfair already. So causality and moral conditioning are superseded in the natural perfection of a single, all-encompassing instant of translucidity or transparency in the here and now. Metabolizing that right now. Then he throws in this statement. Who said that? Yes, please, thank you. Whatever appears in gnosis. Look at the person in front of you, Carolyn. Does not stir from the original face of gnosis. So if you're in that perception, that face does not leave gnosis. The non-dual state. Can you see that right now with her? Just see her. And then this moment, causality and moral conditioning are superseded in the natural perfection of this single, all-encompassing instant of transparent or translucent here and now. The light. See her in the light, Carol? Carolyn? Then Longchenpa says this, perhaps it's one of his many names. Aham, I am, the thoughtless sky that is pure being, unthinking. I take nothing and reject nothing. Non-judgmental mind is like space, and like non-discriminatory space, I am non-discrimination. Now in this statement I'm running ahead because he's saying action for him at this moment depends on the spanda. It depends on the spontaneous self-manifestation of the moment and what's coming forth through him. That's where we started this whole series in January about how action arises from timeless awareness into time. You guys making the connection? Arising from timeless awareness into... Because right now my discrimination is on pause. My superego exhalidocious, exquisite, critical mind cutting through everything and everybody. Off with their heads. We could be in for a time like that, right? Magnificent dictatorship. Napoleonic people just aren't little short, fat chubbies. In essence, I don't know why we're going this way right now, but in essence, we're going to pay. Let's back into the field. In essence, there is no cause and effect. There's only manifestation. In essence, there is no cause. There is no effect. There's only manifestation. Now, if you're in mind alone, in your rational mind, you're always searching for causality. And you start becoming aware of your mind, you're still searching for causality. And causality is simply, in its grossest word, it means a way of explaining phenomena. Then it gets very narrow things like apples falling on your head and things like that, and then it goes into field phenomena. And maybe we'll play with that after sometime soon. But in manifestation, it's only manifesting. So if we look around right now, and there's only manifestation taking place, and I'm not imposing my mind, which imposes causality. That's why Narguna 2nd century, 150 would say. He was the first one who began to bring into cosmology, because Gautama, who was later known as Buddha, Sakyamuni, was really very, very clear-thinking person, and he was really thought in terms of causality, which was very useful. You do this, this is going to happen. You do that, this is going to happen. And he tried to teach non-reactivity, non-reactivity within himself, non-reactivity within events. And there's a certain freedom that you can feel from being non-reactive. And he used causality. There is causality, but that was it. There's no cosmology. There's no Buddha. There's no great space. There's no cosmology in truly Buddha's teachings. You with me? Now, he's in India, of course, with all the mythology there, and as soon as he dies, you have a lot of mythology. So now he's teaching from the archetypical realm. You with me? But actually, things are taught from the archetypical realm, and sometimes person is there. But he did not buy the archetypical realm. Say that. You don't have to believe it, but you can read about it. Didn't speak of it, right. He would say, I don't speak of it. You with me? And he may have had it in his heart of hearts, but he would not speak about it because knowledge unfolds over time. You with me? Every knowledge unfolds over time. Now, then Narguna comes and starts saying, if you get lost in causality, you're going to be bewildered most of your time, figuring this out or that out. And it's a bewilderment. You with me? And he was also, form is emptiness and emptiness is form. But he also would not say anything affirmative. I'm getting a little distracted. He would say nothing positive. He's still in the netty frame. Not this, not this, and not that. Which is very powerful for people, and you can receive liberation, but in a non-relational manner. Okay. Now, then comes, is this okay, me going ahead, getting distracted now? In the 4th century, a tantra was written called the Uttara Tantra. The Uttara Tantra begins to bring up the Buddha field and Buddha mind, Buddha awareness. That this awareness is potentiality. And he called it Tatagarbha. My language is always off, right? Tatagarbha. Anybody, a Buddhist person here? Tatagarbha? Tatagarbha? You've heard that before. Garbha means the seed. So that seed is in every human being to be awakened and to become a Buddha. Okay? Very powerful. So the whole thing starts to change and becomes more powerful. Then you have all these tantras that start taking bliss into consideration. They take the senses into consideration. They go overboard sometimes. They get a little fanatical about certain activities. But more or less, they start integrating non-monastic life, so to speak. And it's still monks, but it's not simply the monastic frame. You with me? Relationships, love, the whole thing. You guys follow this? Now, that's the 4th century. And so you have and here you start having a lot of attempting to enter awareness to experience becoming the Buddha. And there's a lot of great texts that arise out of this. Now, about the 8th century, another change takes place. This is and this is the Gaudaba Tantra. How many people have heard of the Gaudaba Tantra here? Yes. That Tantra is the first powerful, and this takes place in Tibet. This is the formation of the Nyingma tradition that's actually taking experience very seriously and takes everything as eminent. That divinity is eminent. That this is the real, it starts off with the Gaudaba Tantra, the Uttara Tantra, but in the Gaudaba Tantra, it's not just a seed. Everything is completely divine. Everything, all appearances, is awareness, is consciousness, is divinity, whatever language you want to. And at this point, you have the rise of pantheism. No offense to anyone, because we always get nervous about the word pantheism. You with me? So people like Swami Muktananda were pantheists. A lot of the tantrics are pantheists. Because why? God dwells within you as you. God dwells in everything as everything. Everything is God. And so the Gaudama Tantra is a pantheistic text from this point of view. You with me? And the Gaudama Tantra then, and some of these I'm reading are commentaries on the Gaudama Tantra by Longchenpa. You with me? Because the Gaudama Tantra, it radicalizes the eminence of divinity in everything and anything. Prior to whatever you do, it's given. It's given. Raise your hands if you're understanding this. Okay. So that is a very powerful, powerful thing. Now, everybody doesn't have to believe this, and a lot of Buddhists don't even believe this because the Gaudama Tantra is challenged by some. You with me? And you have different traditions, and they have different ways of going about this that lead to awareness. But this is a very eminent touch. You can touch the person. Divinity. And then how to work with it in divinity of awareness, because divinity has all kind of forms. It has beautiful forms, has atrocious forms, has forms of beneficence, has forms of terror. So how to relate in this world. Follow me? That's where we're at right now. Let's breathe. Oh, yes.
All of that was dissertation on how we talk about
Absolutely. None. Awareness has not changed one iota. It's how, I'm going to add a few words, how our understanding has unfolded over time about this phenomena. You with me? And it doesn't mean that in the 4th century there were not people realizing. So there's no one way of realization. There's no one way. And you have to pick the way that fits for you. As Lama Norla says, it's all very, very personal. It is. It's a totally personal thing. I particularly like this form myself. I'm from New Orleans. We like this sort of thing, okay? It's humanistic. It's humanistic mysticism. So let's continue on with the reading. Okay, breathe. So total presence is like elemental space. And space has neither cause nor effect. And Buddhahood, I'm going to get this word again, and this gets everybody word, because for many, these great Dzogchen teachings, or these existential teachings, were like an eraser. You had this before, and you just hear this guy erasing things before it. But it's good to know a bit about where everything comes from, and to be grounded. Total presence. Oh yeah. So Buddhahood is not realized through virtue. Virtue gives you rewards. Virtue has its own rewards. If it could be realized by virtue, natural unconditional perfection would not be true. So they're saying that, and it's not against virtue. Padmasambhava says, though I know this completely, I do everything in the most refined way. You with me? Because virtue is transferable from one to another. Right? The great compassion is virtue in its transference, transmission from one to another. Say yes if that's making sense. Of course, some people may think this is magical thinking, but then they have no sense of field phenomena, and not everybody does. So samsara is not precipitated by vice or evil doing. There is no apple, and Eve is okay. You follow? And even in the Song of Samattabhadra, which is one of these great chants, they start off, well, some kind of way through ignorance, everything is created, right? That some kind of way through ignorance. And this text goes beyond that and said everything is manifesting, whether you know it or not. Failing to recognize the natural perfect condition, failing to not experience that, you want to enter that place of lack. You want to enter that. And then yearning for and insisting on objectively positive experience results in bewilderment. Oh no! Should I read that again to you? Here we go. Failure to recognize. Recognize, they don't mean mental, they mean experiencing this in your own body. Recognition is one of those cheesy, wimpy words. Failure to experience their naturally perfect condition and yearning for and insisting upon objectively positive experience results in bewilderment. And many of the most basic human phenomena is bewilderment. This is a bewildered group. Just watch the news tonight. Yeah. Bewilderment, right? It's a powerful word, right? So, continue on. And then good and bad appearances then start really manifesting all around you in this dramatic way. And then he says there's no good or bad in pure awareness. But in dualistic awareness, it can arise. But as you and I start experiencing within the dualistic moment, the nature at that moment we're liberated, step by step, with whomever and whatever. So it really starts to be tricky here, doesn't it? This starts to be tricky, how we think and experience this world. And it's not urging you to be a naive cow either. You with me? One of the practices we're practicing, and I really wish more of you could come on, because to learn the Vajrakalaya practice is really useful on how to dissemble demonic-like moments, energies in yourself and others. You with me? So it's all very tricky seeing that energy, because you've released the demonic energy into the great expanse. That is your goal. Freedom of the other person also. Say yes if you understand that. You understand that? When you use the energy to dissolve through situations and people, it's also to liberate them from that particular way that they're formed. Almost done. Yes, Tom. You will go into cause and effect because there's remnants of cause and effect in you. And then as you dissolve cause and effect, these statements are unnecessary. So because you're starting to rely on self-sprung awareness. That's a powerful statement. You're starting to rely on self-sprung awareness. So that type of commentary is no longer necessary. But it is necessary that people can make the step into self-sprung awareness and just seeing the manifestation of phenomena. And if you and I can see the manifestating of it, it's coming into being in that moment, that is really liberating. Because if I can feel the self-manifestation of this situation, I can also feel the self-manifesting of my own self. At that moment, I am pure process, and I'm no longer entitified. Entitified. Guys, with me on this? Okay.
So we can take it in ourselves and dissolve it in ourselves and not dissolve it.
It is no longer in yourself. And I'm going to read you this statement right here again. Whatever appears in gnosis does not stir from the original face of gnosis. So it's not within me. There are certain practices initially that are within me, feelings. But when I go to the situation, the situation, that awareness is beyond my body. It is manifesting you. Space and time are in this level. None space, none time is at the level of the manifesting. And so at that moment, you are being perceived in gnosis, which is awareness. That is why also the practice of extending awareness into phenomena allows the experience of the phenomena as gnosis and self-illumination. Got that? Everybody follow that little rap? Say yes if you did. Almost done. Since the natural perfection or completion, I don't like the word perfection, is completion. The natural completion is beyond causality from first. It's not attained by deliberate effort. And it's actually attained or given. What is being given is experienced through gratitude and surrender, right? Gratitude and relaxation. It's experienced through gratitude and understanding and surrendering. Excellence resides only in timeless self-sprung awareness. When I talk about self-sprung awareness, I mean unceasing awareness that encompasses everything. It encompasses you and me. It encompasses everything. Unique awareness has no cause, but yet produces everything. There's no other source. Pure awareness cannot be produced by any cause. Do not place it in temporal index alone. Pure awareness is not a product of any condition. Excellence resides in timeless self-sprung awareness. So what I'm relying on, or we're relying on, is in awareness, experiencing the manifestation of awareness. And action arises not from mind alone, but from the self-sprung awareness. That's why even that little practice when we ask each other questions and we pause and we're not referencing our mind for the answer is a practice in this practice of experiencing the spanda. And Shiva's in the whole book called the Spanda Caritas, which is relating to the spanda, the self-arising awareness. You with me? And sometimes people who you don't even like, it can be very dangerous to you, have expertise in self-spanda awareness. You with me? Sometimes you meet some really good gangsters, if you're lucky, or not so lucky. people who are on the, from our point of view, the wrong side of the fence, and they operate out of the spanda. Some would say impulsivity. But it depends on which side, how you're looking at that. You follow what I mean? So now let's take a break for a moment. And we're going to create a geometry at this point. And then we'll pick this up next week as we work to this awareness. Here, simply resting without artifice, contrivance, in natural awareness, we're participating in the dynamics of all Buddha, past, present, and futurehood. Buddhahood is spontaneity, without effort. Spontaneous action. And that's why sometimes if you're really meeting with great teachers, they really are participating in the spontaneity of the moment. That's what and it's why it's not always easy being with great yogis. What's that? Spanda and spontaneity? Yes. I think the spanda, I don't know the roots, but the spanda is the self-arising of the energy, gnosis, knowingness, without effort. And it's arising out of timeless awareness. And then when you're with teachers who are like that, it is exquisitely both blissful and can be tormenting simultaneously with that. But yes, please. And let's create a geometry now. I'm going to put this over there.
What faculty is experiencing here?
Actually, awareness in conjoined with the mind is experiencing both. Awareness with mind. That's why the issue from both Shaivism and Dzogchen is blending your mind into awareness. Because without mind, no one's here. With mind, you're here. With awareness, you're here. Or as Dakini said to Dudjom Linpa, you and I are indivisible. That's what Steve was articulated so perfectly, and Elizabeth. And then also, there's another dimension that arises. That's why I'm asking everybody to read that book, The Clear Mirror. Or if you read Swami Muktananda's The Play of Consciousness, you will see a book that's totally parallel to that, because they lived in the realm of the apparitional realm or the Sambhogakaya realm. And some people here have access to that, really. And depending on your nature, but the apparitional, and the apparitional is very gives you potency on this, because all these invocations, like we heard Lama Namke Norbu invoke the Vajra, and so the energy arises in the room has a little more golden hue to it, you with me? And then that arising, that capacity to invoke the archetypal, helps us relate beneath the belly of the Nirmanakaya, you with me? And helps bring forth something that might not be brought otherwise. Great, here we are, and Tai Sito's coming. If that happens, that is really super duper cool. I really didn't think it was going to happen. Maybe so, maybe no. But if it does happen, and then maybe if as soon as we get the firm that it's definitely absolutely coming no matter what, this was that he thinks it's coming, which is a big deal because he really does read these different dimensions. Then we'll maybe see if we can come here for a visit for our seminar. Maybe would be cool, and that's it. That's what we're going to extend to him every time, right? If you really want to meet a teacher, you extend to them. If you want to meet a teacher, don't whine about it. You extend to them. We'll create our little thing now. That action is not illusion. We're not doing illusion. Excuse me, folks. We're not doing illusion here. We don't do the word illusion, right? We don't do the word delusion. You can if you want. Most of the time when people have the word illusion, I take that out of the text and I say light. Light. Because what people experience as light, there's light. And say, oh, she's light, so this is delusion. No, it's light as a form. Light. Experiencing the light, seeing the light, and experiencing light. So that action is an action arising out of timeless awareness into time. And it's not far away. It's not like deep down timeless awareness. It gets closer and closer, right? So let's do a triangle here. Maybe, would you come here? Would you come right there? Okay, you want to be there? Great. And would you come here, Marla? And, okay. And let somebody come in. Okay, wait, let's do some triangle. Okay, sorry. We're terrible with geometry here. We all have no Skip has a sense of geometry. Anybody else? We have no geometry here, right? We have no geometry. None of us have geometry in this whole place. I'm glad the door is marked, right? Door. Okay, we're gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna give more space for the middle, more space, and then we'll come closer. And then somebody can jump in the. You're gonna come. You're leaving, right? Next week. So you're gonna go to India. Great. So you're gonna come here. Okay, then you can. No. So we'll extend to Karen. And can people touch you and we close and touch you? And then maybe someone can walk around. Diana, you want to walk? You're feeling healthy? You can walk around and touch people on that side. And Alex, would you mind walking around touching people? Great. We'll extend. Emanation, huh? Manifestation. And that's why we don't take... No, we like to know about, there's a little text called Skillful Means. If you haven't been here before, you should read the text Skillful Means. But we take all that stuff lightly. None of this is like the rule. You with me? So gestures are gestures that arise naturally out of timeless awareness. And then we can make them into things. So when reading text or doing this stuff, if I'm in my mind alone, Skillful Means will dwarf Gnosis. And when Skillful Means dwarfs Gnosis, Gnosis no longer exists, right? It disappears because of Skillful Means, right? Or any sort of practices, even great practices, can become Skillful Means, become very objectified, reified in our superego, and then you go into heaven, hell things, and you come back as a whatever. And that way of thinking doesn't really fit here. You follow me? Can you feel the person in the middle? Say yes if you can. And bring her into the heart essence. This really is humanistic mysticism. That's how I think about it. When the field's there, no matter what our circumstances, no matter what our minds are, there's some degrees of freedom begin to open up. Whatever the circumstances. So we're now going to start, we're going to seal this experience. It's almost like touching a coat. You can feel this cloak of soft energy. Now I think, is Juliet on the phone? Is Juliet there? Great, do that. So let's focus on Juliet. We're not going to move the computer. We don't have to do that. Let's just focus on Juliet right now. We don't have to move our bodies and all that stuff. Let's extend the field to Juliet. And Carolyn's, your niece is ill, hon. So extend. What's her name again? Karen. So we're going to extend. Now, if that extension comes from my mind alone, as it often does in the beginning, it's okay, but, it takes effort. But as the more my mind is brought down into the heart essence, then in that union, that conjunctio, of the masculine, feminine energies mix, then the extension goes initially in the front of my body, or our bodies, and it comes back. And then it sets further back within us, right? You don't have to know about it. It just happens. Then you extend again. It becomes more fully, no effort. And then it goes back. And then, so the energy itself opens up the back. The energy of extension opens, out of the commerce, you with me, that opens up the back. So then the energy opens up the back. And then the energy starts to come through the back, which also starts bringing forth lineages and great teachers we've met and known, maybe did or not did. The death of the early Gautama was very concernful for people. What does that mean now, right? He's a goner. He became a goner. That's gone. And I think it's funny for some reason. But then out of that, you started having the urge to understand and to go beyond the immediacy of the material world, which Gautama's teachings were very much about. You with me? And you start having, out of the death of the Gautama, you start the Buddha, you start having this opening out of experience, and opening up the archetypical dimensions begin to be open more. You with me? And then some of the more, we'd say, people who just wanted to stay with early Buddhist teachings criticize that because it's not the original text. You with me? People are always looking for what's in the original text, right? It's true. And so it starts to open up. This dimension starts to open up. And then Narguna comes and starts to open up how to understand this more. Because it's not psychology. A lot of Gautama's teachings were excellent psychology. Do this, this is going to happen. How not to be reactive to anything and anything. But after a while, you need to be in a certain type of place with certain type of people. And then maybe with the perfect circumstances, there's no reactivity. But actually, it only goes so far. And then you have this emergence where you start to integrate everything into this awareness. So let's extend to our friends on the internet. Let's extend to each other. Let's extend to our country now. In a very in a wonderful way. And so you're also holding the dual, non-dual state as you do this, because then it's more powerful. Can you feel the archetypical energies in Trump? Yeah. You want to be able to do that, the power. You with me? Well, So we're moving ahead here. Let's extend the energy to them, to both of them. Let's extend the energy to each other. Let's extend the energy if any of us are sick. Let's extend the energy that we all have that we know we have the capacity. We have the capacity to integrate our minds into awareness. Some of us have very strong awareness here, but our minds aren't integrated yet, right? There's a dissociation there. So you want to integrate our mind into awareness. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, feelings, every feeling, whatever. A lot of people have trouble with this because they have a thing about purity and they don't want to integrate the nasty into the pure awareness. That is not understanding what purity is. God, you with me? Integrating everything. And then we want to integrate our circumstances, like we can integrate the two people right sitting in the middle there. We can extend our knowingness. Then we bring them into our awareness. And at that moment, it's a double thing. One, there is subject-objectness, subject-subject there, and then subject-object duality at the level of the non-dual disappears. Gnosis. They're appearing in gnosis. And then we're going to watch manifestingness if we can. The manifesting. Now you can even feel, and feeling is a word that counts here. Feeling is not simply an affect. The word feeling has different connotations for us here, but there's a felt sense of phenomena, which is a knowingness in the body. The felt sense is knowing in the body, through the bodiness. You with me? It's not just I'm a touch a little. It's not, that's a felt sense, but that felt sense, scratch, 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 or rub, 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 is different than the felt sense of perception. There is a felt sense of perception. It's non-conceptual. But in that felt sense, you can begin to experience the manifestation before. So if anybody has an experience you would like to write to me about, and I would really appreciate it. And I'm thinking of having, if it works, in fact, I was asked some people to help me edit some of these papers. I'm only 3 years behind, 4 going now. But also I'd like to have a volume, if we can, of people's poems. Like Tom read on Friday. That was just so great. People had the power of invocation happens when Tom reads the poetry, and also other people's poems, like Elizabeth's, the one she sent, but also like Steve's experience, that paragraph. And I would like if we could have people's writings, but we're not going to just accept them out of sentiment. You know, I really mean it. So there's a little risk in sending it because you may be rejected. But that makes it more fun. You with me? And so maybe have a little team, maybe of Elizabeth and Tom, since they wrote the poems, could be judging through gnosis, no judging, gnosis, a gnosis score. Okay. Anyway, with some kind of way, huh? You can campaign too. There's always campaigning. But I would love to have, often throughout the year I've said, oh, would you please write that? Because who's the teacher here? Who's the teacher? The field is a teacher. Do you have any doubt about that? None. So that's, when that comes through a person, you know it, and then we'll have a transmission called the poetics.
Well, let's let the person who's writing it decide.
That's true.
When I write, there's lots of things that I throw out.
Yes. But if it goes into the journal, there will be a doorway.
If it comes to you, it'll come in that form.
Yes,
You won't have to say no.
because maybe. Because wait, you know why? Yes, I'll tell you why. But I don't want just me to be the only one. Because a lot of poetry is sentimentalism. And awareness, exquisitely beautifully expressed, whatever it is a non-sentimental act. And so sometimes when it's sentimental, it's good poetry, but it's not fitting in the articulatedness of the awareness field. A-okay. Thank you, guys. Also, one more thing, too. Something else. No, but that's it then. Thanks. See you guys next week. And Saturday. Costs nothing. And also, I'm inviting... It's 8 o'clock. And it varies in time from 8 to 9, sometimes 8 to 9:30. And it's invoking the archetypal. Thank you, guys. See you later. This is a very great book. I've tried to read about Buddha's life forever. To who was, what's his name again? Gautama. I've always wanted to know who. I always read history. Anything I read, I always read history simultaneous. I've not found many good books on Gautama's life. They're all very mystifying, and he's the greatest baseball player in the world. This is a great book on Gautama. Yes, that was from a text, and I will tell you again next week. It's actually in this book here. I read the same thing tonight again, except I made comments on it. And this is not the one. Oh yeah, the foolish dormer of an idiot clothed in mother. The foolish dormer of an idiot. Yes, and you can buy the little book itself too. You can buy the book itself. Yeah, he's very clear. It was really good. I just kept it directly from him. This time I made some commentaries to expand it.